Hello, I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this is Talking During the Movie.
It's the Talking During the Movie podcast with your hosts, Louie Gravance and Tony Whitten.
Oh, and we have a special arrangement of props here for our movie.
Chad. Thank Chad.
Do I have to?
First, I want to thank Chad for getting me this shirt for my birthday.
That is
very sweet of Chad.
That's actually quite
And
nice.
he did this.
1, 2. That's a record.
I love Chad.
He does.
If I were 40 years younger and a girl,
Yeah?
I'd be... Oh, never mind.
Chad Street.
Okay.
Okay.
That's what I said. If I were 40 years younger and a girl.
Oh, well, you learn something new every day, don't you, Chad? Anyway, so from our props, I don't know if you can tell, we're reviewing Ready Player One
Yes.
this week.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg's latest return to well, what some might say his roots, the fantasy action genre.
Yes.
Yes.
And?
I saw it yesterday in the big Dolby theater that they now have in our local complex here. So it's got like the reclining seats and the big screen, and the seats rumble. They're rumble seats. So when there's noise, like the subwoofers go and they shake you around. I'm not sure if I like that or not yet.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But so we did see it in the big fancy theater, and wow, what a lot of fun. This movie was a lot of fun. Wait, we've got this odd pause here.
I didn't dig it at all.
You didn't dig it at all?
In fact, the movie pissed me off.
How did it piss you off? How does this movie piss you off?
Okay. Now just hear me out. It's not a bad movie.
No, it's a good movie.
It's a good movie.
Yeah.
This should have been an outstanding movie, and this is 3 in a row now. BFG, The Post, and now this.
Bridge of Spies.
No, see that I think counts is a league above this.
You think so?
You know what?
Okay.
This is what I think. I think that his point of view is so iconic that it's something that should have been sent up and paid homage in the film, as opposed to his point of view telling us this story. I think he uses the same people. I think he uses the same beats. I think the kids look like they came out of a catalog. I think the kids look like they're commercial actors. I think they're a little... I think he casts the movie the way old Universal movies used to get casted. And he can make good actors look bad. He can make fine actors look bad. Really, I thought... I didn't hate the movie, but it annoyed me that once again, this should have been a wonderful movie. And I'm sorry, I don't want to go.
No, go ahead.
There's one other thing.
You're on a roll here.
There's one other thing.
All right.
He and Lucas have this thing. I get it. I get it that they were nebbish, brilliant kids. I get it.
Yeah.
And they have a thing when they cast their male ingenues. They never go the Ryan Philippe route. They always have to throw a coating of nebbish on it. And sometimes Ryan Philippe is necessary. Sometimes, I think you should have looked at the kid that starred in this movie who played the lead role, and you should have gone, wow, that kid's going to be a movie star. Because ironically, and Spielberg does not do irony, God knows he doesn't do irony, the irony should have been that he should have been more beautiful not in the game. He should have been a beautiful, handsome boy. And the fact that the irony that he's living in this world, and living through this avatar, I think that would have been a great ironic touch. And also, I think the role needed a movie star. I think the role needed a young movie star. What would have been so bad if he'd been beautiful?
I don't think that's what they were going for. The fact that this was the idea that it's an average person going up against these massive odds.
But he wasn't an average person.
Well, I'm saying they even say, who is this person? There's a lot of that until he starts winning. I mean, there is something special about him, but it is undiscovered. It's not his looks. It's his knowledge.
Does Mark Rylance have to be in everything?
Well, Spielberg likes to go through his things. He had Tom Cruise for a little while. He had Tom Hanks for a little while. He had Leonardo DiCaprio for a while. He has his preferred actors in his phases.
All right.
So right now it's and he's not even the star. But Mark Rylance has been his go-to supporting actor.
Again, and everything is steel blue and silver. You know, the color palette.
Well, that's
his palette, man.
That's his director of photography's palette. I mean, he's got a very distinctive style of lensing and everything.
Right.
Yeah. And now it's become Spielberg's look.
I just thought a new director, a bright, young vision with a sense of irony and respect for pop culture. Mm-hmm. This could have been a magnificent motion picture.
Do you think there's somebody else that could have done it justice besides Spielberg, who was there creating much of that pop culture that is sent up in this movie?
Maybe that I'm saying that's.
You're saying he's too close.
I'm saying that's maybe why he wasn't the person to do it. Maybe somebody like Ryan Coogan or somebody like that should have been that should have been the eye. I could be wrong, but
I will agree that I think it might have been a mistake to leave a lot of his own movies out, because there's a couple references to like movies he's produced, but for the most part he left his movies out, and that was a conscious choice. And I'm wondering if maybe he was the best person to go ahead and say, yeah, let's send this up. Let's have some references. Let's parody it.
Well, of course.
Let's have a lot of fun with it.
Of course those characters.
And I think he might have thought it was too self-aggrandizing, like I'm making a movie about all the great stuff that I did, rather than letting people appreciate, like, no, we know you did some great stuff. Let's go revisit and have a little best of while we're at it. I mean, that's not the point of the movie, but how can you not throw it in if you have that opportunity?
You know, we don't always do a good job, and maybe you should be the person to do this. We always try not to ever do spoilers.
We try not to do spoilers.
And we rarely do.
We want you to decide where to spend your money.
But sometimes we to the other end, to a fault in that maybe
you have to mention something, or else
why don't you explain just briefly what the movie is as far as just a
I feel
contextually.
Whatever's mentioned in the trailer is fair game because that's out in the open.
Yes,
and that's been free.
Okay, so
the movie is about this young man, this ingenue, if you will, who has this crappy life, and this is set in the near future, about 35 years from now.
Yeah.
And so the great escape for everyone's humdrum life is this online game called The Oasis.
Right.
And everyone goes there, and it's basically you can create a new version of yourself, and you fight these games, and you collect coins. So it's basically taking online gaming now and taking it to the nth degree, where it becomes its own world, and anyone can plug into it.
Which is not that far off.
It's really not that far off.
It's not that.
It's a completely believable, and you can get like special suits, so you can feel things in the...
People get addicted to it.
Yes, and people spend all their time online.
Yeah.
So to him, that's escape, and he's spending a lot of his time there. And so Mark Rylance plays the game designer who has created this ultimate game where you collect these certain pieces, you put them all together, and you basically win the Oasis.
A la Willy Wonka.
Right. It's Willy Wonka there.
Yes.
And then on the other side of it is this corporation, this evil corporation, because they always are in these movies, that wants to take over because control of the Oasis is control over all the gamers who play.
And don't you think the villains were silly?
Yes.
Don't you think
I would like to have them to have been more menacing.
They were like Disney-fied, like in the 70s Disney-fied.
Yeah. Where Herbie's villain is only going to be so villainous.
And I think that's I think that's about the tonality.
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes, it's very similar to that.
And again, really?
Yeah, I would have liked to have more menace. I wanted more at stake.
I didn't need more violence. I thought that was just fine.
Yeah, but even with the violence, I felt like it didn't deal with a lot of the characters enough, even the main characters, to really feel a lot for them. I feel like I would spend 5 more minutes on that and spread it around a little bit. Mm-hmm. But I wanted to care about the people that were in it. I wanted to care about the people that they cared about.
But you see what I mean about how all the kids look like Mouseketeers?
No, not necessarily.
Really?
They for the most part, they were awfully clean cut. Yeah.
No matter what piece of the Benetton ad they were, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They still were, you know.
Yeah, they're still going. They still have to be pretty to be in a movie. Pretty enough anyway. I was fine with the choice of that he was a little more.
I think we noticed some of the same things. You're just more forgiving. I think
he was not a clean cut model.
Who?
Male model look, the main star. And I think that's on purpose.
It's always on purpose with him. Because
you're not going to put a young Jude Law in that role.
I think he resents pretty boys. I think they do. I think that
he had Leonardo DiCaprio in his movies. Spielberg.
What Spielberg movie was DiCaprio in?
Oh God! Now that I've said it, now I can't think of it. Yeah, didn't he have DiCaprio in
I don't know. But Hughes also ruined the character of Anakin by not doing the Ryan Philippe thing. The same thing. You had to throw anyway.
Anakin wasn't a pretty boy.
not enough. I think that the Anakin should have been like, whoa, that guy is. You could see that there was something dark behind that kid's eyes from the first.
I would agree
frame.
with that. Yes, I think Anakin was miscast, and perhaps
That's
a
what I'm
bigger person
saying.
who has this not only
that
a force draw of his own power, but a physical draw
That
as
thing,
well.
right,
That
odd
makes it
thing, yes.
that makes the attractiveness so understanding that you
Yeah.
can see how this person could fall to the dark side.
Exactly.
I agree with that. Yes,
Right,
I
well-
think this is a different take on that.
Okay.
Yeah. Where this guy is meant to be the good guy, where he doesn't have that danger to it. So he's more of a regular guy who has this special ability in his brain, and that's what makes him so special and can figure out the game.
I was expecting it to be as varied as Who Framed Roger Rabbit, as far as the different characters.
Exactly.
That
I was thinking that too. I would like to see all these different things handled. Roger Rabbit does that so perfect.
I mean, they're coming out of where it's like,
Yes.
yeah,
and where they fit is so perfect for that story.
Right.
It's done so well that you don't even see the scenes.
Yes.
Yes, and I would have liked to seen more of that where it's brought in a little more rather than, hey, look at that, hey, look at that, hey, look at that. It's actually part of the story, and where they fits in seamlessly.
I think the most
I think they had trouble
successful
with that.
successful film is the one that pays homage to the.
Yes.
I think that's to
Yes.
me that was the most successful piece of the movie.
Yes,
and there should have
everyone in
been
the whole
more
audience
about that. There
Yes,
more
there
like
should have been
that.
more sequences like that.
Yes.
Because there's just really that one really well done
Without
piece.
100 things coming at you, just that just
Right.
that was
That's
like,
the one where they kind of settle in. They just
Right.
kind of they get into the pop culture.
Right.
And everyone in the audience knows what this pop culture is.
Right.
And they're like, all right, buckle in because
Right.
this is gonna be good.
And
it's the one sequence that really, really pays off.
Okay, so I think we feel a lot of the same about this movie.
I think you just feel much harsher than I do.
Yeah, I must. Maybe mine was
Yeah.
Maybe I'm.
Are you burnt out on Spielberg?
I think I am, and I feel I have. No, I mean, he's.
Is he like a drug?
I never
that-
wanted to be one of those people.
Is he like a drug where you have to get a bigger fix in order to get the same high?
No. This is what I'm saying.
Does he have to keep upping his game so much?
I'd be cool with a couple lines before dinner and a couple lines after dinner. This is what I'm trying to tell Stephen. We don't need to blow. I can't believe all these drug references, but we don't need to just snort a whole ounce in one night. It's cool. I know you can afford it. I know you've got good shit, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can. But really,
Well, part of movies now today, especially with the CGI,
I know.
is the spectacle.
I know.
There's too much to look at. You're gonna have to buy this movie and like freeze framed, like, oh look, there is Pikachu. Oh look, there's
And you know what?
SpongeBob.
This would have been the perfect movie to retry that high def thing that they tried in The Hobbit, the first Hobbit movie.
Oh, that's 60 frames a
This
second.
would have been a good movie to try that for. It would have
Yeah.
made a lot of those action sequences easier to follow.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been easier to pick things out, and it would have heightened this world. You would have settled into
And
that.
some of the larger screens, the scenes that my eyes just kind of went, I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking at here.
Yeah.
There was so much going on.
Right, and I think that high def would have been a real good candidate
Mm-hmm.
for that, and it would have made the Oasis something we hadn't seen before. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
But I think, again, part of that is the idea is that it is things that we have experienced before and things that we know and love, and this is them in a different light.
I guess
Where
we're
they're
both,
all friends in the same thing, a la Wreck-It Ralph or whatever.
I guess we're both giving it a B plus, but you're like it's a B plus, and I'm like it's a B plus.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it. It's a B plus. It's only a B plus.
It's a B plus.
Yeah.
Because you had the entire toy box
Right.
to use.
Yeah. And
Okay, and another thing.
not all of the toys are used, and not all the toys are used correctly.
Thing also is another point of where it was like, okay, all these generations come together, and that was nearly sublime.
Yeah, there's some wonderful moments in here.
But clearly, Spielberg couldn't get people to share their. If anybody could talk people into saying, "Hey, look, could I use?"
Yeah,
could I use Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz for a
they
second?
did it for Who
Could
Framed Roger
I-
Rabbit.
And if anybody, could
And they
get-
worked it out. I mean, they had to have special things like
Right.
you couldn't have Mickey
Mickey
Mouse
and Don-
without
right.
Bugs Bunny. That was part of the contract. You
Right.
had
They
to
had
have
to
them
have
together
exactly the same
equal
lines.
time,
Right.
and equal weight.
Okay.
but they worked it out.
But they got
to make it work. It was
right.
beautiful.
So if anybody could have made that,
Yeah,
work,
if anyone in Hollywood
could have called in
could have
favor,
said,
and
"Hey,
say,
I've got this idea. Would you like to be in a fun movie?
I
about
want to see
your thing?"
Wolverine blow through, and I
Right.
need you. Hey, and I really want to see. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to see this $6 million man fighting Fonzie. You know?
Yes, absolutely. And I
And
want to
anyone
see.
could have done like, yes, Mr. Spielberg.
I want to see the Witch of the West coming through there, like throwing fire bombs.
Right.
I mean, this is what I was expecting.
Yeah. And I think there was maybe so much of it that we didn't get to really distill on.
Did you read the book?
Some of the icons. I have not read the book.
See,
yet.
I haven't read the book either.
The book is on hold. It is coming to me, but I did not get it. But I heard it's vastly different.
I do too.
So I don't like to learn too much about the movies. Like I watched the first trailer or two, but I don't like to learn everything because there's
if it's a piece of literature,
I like to
to know that.
Yes. And literature, you have some leeway because the story is already out there. But for this one, I wanted to be surprised by what the spectacle was, and then I'll read the movie.
So it depends on you. If you want to see a B+ movie, or if you want to see a B+ movie.
Well, I think what we're saying is don't go in expecting A+. Don't go in expecting E.T. Don't go in expecting Roger Rabbit.
It's a very, very solid, loud, a little bit too long Steven Spielberg movie.
I didn't feel it was too long.
You didn't? Come on.
No.
I
can see where you're coming from. I can see where you're coming from.
It's a little long. It's 2 hours and 20 minutes, I think, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like, oh, God, we need to wrap this section up and to keep moving. I didn't feel that.
And I'm going to say this, because the whole thing is about this Easter egg that's planted in this world that these kids have to find.
Yeah, that's the end of the game.
They got to find the Easter egg.
They got to find the game, yeah.
Okay. If any movie should have had an Easter egg at the end of the credits,
I think that was a big disappointment, is that there was no...
It should have been this one!
There was no mid-credits, no end-credits scene, which are huge right now. There was nothing. It was just credits. Yeah. I think a lot of people in the theater that I was
there at the first show, and I was in the big IMAX theater.
Yeah.
And
that was a letdown.
And people waited.
Yeah.
Because they thought, I mean, how weird we've come to expect it. But I thought, if any movie is going to do that...
Right. But I could see how they could justify not doing it, you know?
How?
Well, they
don't owe it to us. But...
Well, the game has been played. That story has been told.
Okay.
But I was disappointed though. I'm like, I would have liked to have seen a little something. So if you don't have to wait till the end of the credits because there's nothing there. So
yeah, don't.
I feel like that's not a spoiler. That's saving you time.
There should have been Willy Wonka's face. The real Willy Wonka.
Supposedly they wanted Gene Wilder. Spielberg had approached Gene Wilder to play the Mark Rylance character way back.
Really?
Yeah, and he's like, "No, I'm good."
Well, he was sick, but yes.
Yeah.
But I could see. Okay, I could see. Mm-hmm. See, now that would have been rich.
Yeah.
Okay, see, now that would have been a rich choice.
Yeah. As you think, some of the actors should have been.
That would have
should have been references as well.
Yeah, now that would have been a really rich
I would have liked
choice.
to have seen even the actors on.
Yes.
Oh, that guy. Oh, that guy.
Right. Yeah. As opposed to
yeah.
looking like it's his troupe of players.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would have liked to have seen that.
We're saying the same thing.
Yeah, I think we're saying the same thing. It's just that I'm saying it with more of a positive spin, and you're saying more of a spin.
Maybe it was just my mood.
Maybe it was just your mood. Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe it will be your mood.
But I would say this is one to see in the theaters.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Get a big screen.
Oh, yeah.
Get a loud
You won't
speaker.
know what's going on if you try to watch this on TV. You might not know what's going on if you see it in IMAX.
And if you are a big fan, if you're like, hey, it's a B+, it might be worth multiple viewings to check out all the other stuff that's going on.
And you know what else? You can take kids.
For the most part, yeah.
No. You can take kids.
There's the whole sequence.
Well, there's that. Okay.
Yeah, there's the one. They're not going to know the reference. Hopefully, they're not going to know the reference.
But no one.
What was that, Louie?
I mean, no one dines on barbecue relentlessly to make you sick.
That's I think the test of any good movie. There's the Bechdel test, and then who doesn't eat enough barbecue to throw up. So I mean, these are things that
Hey, have you ever almost thrown up in a movie?
No.
Okay, do you know where the movie I came? Well, I have. You know the movie that it was literally like in my mouth?
Pink Flamingo.
No. Oh, okay. Yes, that one at the end. Yes. But also
Stand By Me.
No.
Okay.
No. It
was
one of those Johnny Knoxville movies.
Jackass.
Okay.
Was it a Jackass movie?
Yeah.
I saw the second one.
It was the one where the guy gets on the treadmill and then has to drink the sweat from the... I'm telling you, man.
I think I missed that sequence.
No, really. He's just... he has to keep it in. He sweats. It's this big fat guy. And he sweats, and then the sweat goes into this glass.
Oh, that's awful. Why are you describing it? That's terrible.
It's like a pork chop in an ashtray.
Oh, that is pretty bad.
In a dirty
Look,
ashtray.
you're like physicalizing this.
I throw up pretty easy.
Oh, okay. Well, don't throw up on the set.
No, I'm not going to throw
Poor
up on
Chad's
the
going to
set.
have to clean it up well.
That's
actually.
right. You'd make Chad clean it up. Okay, all right.
That's
So
not
I
so
think the
bad.
jury's... Man.
I wouldn't make you clean it up, but I wouldn't get joy out of it. I would get joy out of ordering it, but I wouldn't get joy out of you actually doing it.
Both are bad. Okay.
I'm not a monster.
I'm Louie.
Let's thank Scott Whittemore for our theme music.
We haven't done that in a while. And let's thank Scott Whittemore for just being so freaking cool.
Well, he's a wonderful human being.
Just being so
and we asked him
freaking
if,
cool.
would you mind putting something together? And he put together a bunch of stuff.
He's cool. His wife's cool. They're totally cool.
Yeah, and so we just want to say thank you very much to Scott Whittemore for our theme music. It really
Yeah.
bumped up our game there.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this has been
Talking During the Movie.